In the cold vastness of space, a mystery unfolds. 3I Atlas, the third interstellar visitor to our solar system, has puzzled astronomers for months, with its strange green tail and erratic behavior. But on September 19th, at precisely 2 a.m. UTC, the enigma deepened. An amateur astronomer in Chile discovered 9 faint points of light surrounding Atlas, moving in perfect synchrony. These weren't random celestial bodies. They orbited Atlas like satellites, their precise formation defying natural explanation. But you stopped here. You're one of the few still searching for something real. So before we go deeper, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you think this really means. And if you want to help this message reach others who still wonder, share it on X, Facebook, Reddit, or even just in your group chats. You're the reason this search is alive. Thank you for keeping your eyes open. The world's most advanced telescopes swiftly confirmed the sighting. The Gemini Observatory revealed the object's smooth, spherical shapes, each radiating an eerie green glow that pulsed rhythmically. The European Southern Observatory clocked their velocities at over 30 kilometers per second, yet their formation remained flawless, defying known celestial mechanics. Atlas was not alone. It was accompanied by 9 bodies, each no larger than a city block, but monumental in implication. Their coordinated movements and synchronized signals detected by NASA's Deep Space Network suggested an intelligence behind their design. The green glow, visible even to small telescopes, was unlike anything ever recorded. Spectroscopic analysis hinted at elements not found in our solar system, suggesting an origin far beyond our comprehension. The object's synchronized movements pointed to an intelligence or natural phenomenon that challenged everything we knew about physics. Whether artificial or natural, their arrival marked a turning point in human history, a moment when the universe reminded us just how little we truly understand. The search for answers had only just begun. What are these objects, and why are they here? Section 1. The Unseen Arrival. For weeks, telescopes worldwide had been fixed on 3I Atlas, monitoring its journey. From the Canary Islands, where the 10.4-meter Gran Telescopio Canarias stood sentinel, to the parched expanses of the Atacama Desert, astronomers scrutinized data streaming in from every corner of the globe. Space missions like NASA's Juno orbiting Jupiter and the Parker Solar Probe, braving the Sun's corona, were repurposed to gather information on the enigmatic object. Yet, no one detected the companions. According to Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, 9 bodies materialized in less than a millisecond, too swiftly for even the most advanced instruments to capture. To astronomers, it seemed the sky had transformed in an instant, shifting from a lone traveler to a convoy of unknown origin. This sudden appearance raised a haunting question. What else might lurk undetected in our solar system, hidden from our most powerful telescopes and probes? Initial skepticism from the professional community gave way to astonishment as the James Webb Space Telescope, with its infrared capabilities and the aging but reliable Hubble, confirmed the object's presence. 9 bodies accompanied 3I Atlas, matching its trajectory with uncanny precision and emitting the same green-tinted light that had puzzled scientists since Atlas first appeared. Spectral analysis revealed they weren't fragments of Atlas but independent objects, composed of nickel, cobalt, and exotic alloys rare in comets or asteroids. These alloys, such as dysprosium and rhenium, suggested a level of refinement not found in natural celestial bodies. Stranger still, while Atlas hinted at a 10-gigawatt power source, its companions radiated nearly double that, 20 gigawatts each. Such energy output, comparable to lighting entire nations, defied natural explanation. If engineered, the implications were profound. Who or what could have created such objects, and for what purpose? Emergency meetings erupted globally. At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, teams worked around the clock to analyze trajectories, while China's National Space Administration convened in Beijing, and the European Space Agency assembled experts in Darmstadt. The data was undeniable. The companions not only matched Atlas's path, but appeared to communicate with it. Ground-based radar detected subtle, coordinated shifts in their positions, suggesting a level of precision found only in advanced satellite networks. These shifts, occurring at intervals as short as 0.05 seconds, hinted at a technology capable of real-time synchronization across vast distances. The silence of their movements only amplified the mystery. Observations flooded in from around the world. The Very Large Array in New Mexico, with its 27 radio antennas spread across the desert, picked up unusual signals from the convoy. These signals pulsed in structured patterns unlike any known cosmic phenomenon, repeating every 1.3 seconds with a consistency that ruled out random interference. Meanwhile, the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory in Antarctica reported a surge in neutrino emissions from the same region. These emissions, 10,000 times stronger than the Sun's, originated from objects no larger than city blocks, further defying conventional physics. The neutrinos, ghostly particles that barely interact with matter, suggested an energy source beyond human understanding. As days stretched into weeks, the convoy silently crossed the solar system, passing Mars without incident. However, its presence ignited anxiety among scientists and governments. Military leaders quietly drafted contingency plans, grappling with an enemy that defied physics. If artificial, the object's creators possessed technology far beyond human comprehension. If natural, they represented a new cosmic phenomenon, challenging our understanding of the universe and our place within it. The convoy's trajectory, projected by astronomers at the Minor Planet Center, suggested it would pass Jupiter within months, offering a narrow window to study or intercept the objects before they moved deeper into the solar system. Public speculation ran wild, from ancient civilizations returning to Earth to invasion theories fueled by science fiction. Governments struggled to maintain control, releasing statements that acknowledged the discovery while downplaying the threat. In Tokyo, officials assured citizens that Japan's newly upgraded space surveillance systems were monitoring the situation. In Washington, D.C., press conferences emphasized international cooperation and preparedness. Amid the chaos, astrobiologist Sarah Seeger offered a cautious perspective. If these objects meant harm, they've had the chance. Instead, they seem to be observing us. Her words provided little comfort as the convoy neared Jupiter, leaving humanity to brace for whatever came next, uncertain of the visitor's intentions or the fate of the world. The skies, once a source of wonder and inspiration, now held an unsettling reminder of how little we truly know about the universe and its unseen inhabitants. Section 2. The Power Paradox. The most haunting part of this discovery wasn't the power itself, but the suddenness of the companion's appearance. For weeks, telescopes had been watching Atlas carefully, and yet not a single instrument detected the companions until they were already there. This wasn't a gradual emergence, it was an instantaneous arrival. Theories poured in, each one more unsettling than the last. Did Atlas release them like mini probes, deploying its drones as it entered the inner solar system? Were they dormant until triggered by the sun's gravity or radiation, activating in response to some invisible threshold? Or did they arrive from somewhere else entirely, hiding in plain sight until the perfect moment to reveal themselves? Their surfaces, smooth and reflective, seemed to absorb starlight in a way that defied conventional optics, making them nearly invisible against the vast backdrop of space. Whatever the answer, their appearance wasn't random. It was deliberate. The scale of the power they radiated was almost incomprehensible. Each companion, no larger than a small asteroid, emitted energy equivalent to that of a medium-sized star. To put this into perspective, if one of these objects were to suddenly appear in Earth's orbit, it would outshine the full moon by a factor of 500. The energy output wasn't constant either. Observations showed fluctuations that seemed to correspond with unknown internal processes, as if the companions were alive, pulsing with a rhythm that defied human understanding. Some researchers speculated that these fluctuations were a form of communication, a language of energy that humanity had no way to decode. When astrophysicists tried to model the companions' energy profiles, their computers failed. No matter how they adjusted the equations, temperature, density, fusion, or fission reactions, the numbers refused to converge. You cannot fit the kind of power radiating from these objects into something that small without technology, beyond our comprehension. Exotic containment fields, antimatter catalysis, even dark matter reactions were thrown onto the table because ordinary physics couldn't explain it. Each of the 9 bodies appeared hotter, denser, and more energetic than the main craft, as if they were designed for close approaches, while Atlas itself remained at a distance. In other words, they weren't just escorts. They were frontline agents, carrying more raw power than anything humanity has ever conceived. This realization sent ripples through the scientific community because it suggested intent. Something had placed these objects here. Something had given them impossible energy cores, and something was directing their path. But what or who was pulling the strings? Observation. The companions' trajectories were not random. They moved in synchronized patterns, adjusting their positions relative to one another with a precision that suggested a shared purpose. One of the most chilling discoveries was that their orbit seemed to align with the gravitational pull of the gas giants, using Jupiter and Saturn as slingshots to accelerate or decelerate without expending additional energy. This level of efficiency was unprecedented, a testament to whoever or whatever had engineered them. The companions' movements were so precise that they could navigate the chaotic gravitational fields of the outer planets without deviating from their intended paths. It was as if they were dancing with the cosmos, bending the laws of physics to their will. Speculation. If these companions were indeed sentient or guided by an intelligence, their purpose remained shrouded in mystery. Were they scouts, surveying the solar system for resources or threats? Were they weapons capable of unleashing their immense energy in a single catastrophic burst? Or were they something else entirely? Ambassadors, perhaps, carrying a message from the stars? The possibilities were as vast as the cosmos itself. and each one raised more questions than answers. Humanity had encountered something it could barely comprehend, something that challenged the very foundations of its understanding. The power paradox was not just a scientific puzzle, it was an existential one. For the first time in history, humanity was forced to confront the reality that it was not alone in the universe, and that the universe was far stranger and more dangerous than anyone had ever imagined. Section 3. Silence and Secrets. The viral spread of the 9 companions' images sparked public suspicion. Why hadn't we been told? Global space agencies remained silent, issuing only vague statements while emergency meetings convened at the Pentagon, ESA headquarters and China's space agency. Whispers of contingency plans, including interception missions and planetary defense protocols, circulated. Private space companies were quietly consulted, and designs for asteroid deflection were updated. To the public, there was only silence and controlled reassurances. Behind closed doors, however, the tension was palpable. In the dimly lit conference rooms of the Pentagon, uniformed officials huddled over encrypted tablets, scrolling through classified reports. The atmosphere was one of barely contained urgency, as if the world outside had suddenly become unpredictable and dangerous. At the same time, in the sleek, modern halls of ESA headquarters, scientists and policymakers exchanged hushed conversations, their voices barely audible, over the hum of secure servers processing data from observatories across the globe. Leaked documents revealed the deception's scale. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory had detected the companions by February 2026, months before the amateur discovery. Classified as unidentified interstellar phenomena, their data was compartmentalized, shared only with high-level officials. By May, their trajectories showed intentional maneuvering, suggesting intelligence. Yet the official narrative remained unchanged. The documents, stamped with "Top Secret" in bold red letters, detailed how the companions had been tracked for months, their movements analyzed in secrecy. The pages were filled with technical jargon, delta-V adjustments, orbital perturbations, and non-Keplerian trajectories, all pointing to one chilling conclusion. These objects were not natural. The implications were staggering, yet the public was left in the dark, fed a steady diet of reassurances that everything was under control. Harvard's AVE Loeb proposed the mothership hypothesis. 3I Atlas as a carrier releasing probes. This explained the companions' power signatures and synchronized orbits. The horrifying implication was that these probes had a mission. Natural explanations crumbled under evidence, leaving the engineered hypothesis as the most plausible. Loeb's theory sent shockwaves through the scientific community. In the hallowed halls of Harvard, researchers gathered in hushed seminars, poring over star charts and spectral analyses. The mothership hypothesis became a whispered phrase, uttered with a mix of awe and fear. If true, it meant humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and that the visitors had intentions, perhaps even a purpose for coming here. The idea was both exhilarating and terrifying. Public speculation exploded on social media, ranging from alien probes to ancient civilizations. News outlets pressed for transparency, but NASA and ESA remained evasive. Protests erupted, reaching a boiling point, when an ESA whistleblower leaked a memo revealing the companions had been classified as potentially hazardous objects. The leak sparked global outrage, exposing divisions within the scientific community. The whistleblower, a mid-level engineer with access to classified systems, had risked everything to expose the truth. Their identity remained unknown, but their actions ignited a firestorm. In cities across the world, protesters took to the streets, holding signs that read, "What are they hiding?" and "We deserve the truth." The hashtag #cosmic cover-up trended worldwide, as millions demanded answers from the very institutions they had once trusted. The whistleblower's revelations also highlighted the scientific community's divisions. While some embraced the mothership hypothesis, others clung to conventional explanations. Meanwhile, astronomers detected strange signals from the companions, quantum echoes that interacted with space-time, bending light and warping gravity. The implications were staggering, suggesting technologies far beyond human understanding or a revolution in our comprehension of the universe, one that governments seemed determined to keep hidden. In observatories from Chile to Australia, astronomers worked late into the night, their eyes glued to telescope readouts as they tried to make sense of the impossible. The quantum echoes defied all known physics, their effects rippling through space-time like stones thrown into a cosmic pond. Some researchers compared the signals to the distortions predicted by general relativity, but on a scale that seemed almost unthinkable. Others drew parallels to theoretical constructs like wormholes or higher dimensional objects, ideas that had long been confined to the realm of speculation. Yet, as the evidence mounted, it became clear that something extraordinary was unfolding, and that humanity was woefully unprepared for what it might mean. Observation. The silence from global space agencies only fueled public distrust. As rumors spread, social media platforms became hotbeds of conspiracy theories and demands for transparency. Hashtags like #RevealTheTruth and #NotAlien Cover-Up trended for weeks, with millions of posts questioning the official narrative. Independent researchers and citizen scientists began crowdfunding their own investigations, pooling resources to analyze public datasets and satellite imagery. Their findings often contradicted official statements, further eroding trust in government institutions. Interpretation. The leaks and whistleblower revelations exposed a deep-seated fear within global space agencies, a fear of the unknown and the potential loss of control. The companions represented a challenge to humanity's understanding of the universe, and the silence reflected a desperate attempt to maintain order in the face of the unpredictable. This fear was not unfounded. The companions' behavior defied all conventional explanations, suggesting a level of intelligence and technological sophistication that dwarfed human achievement. Their presence raised profound questions about humanity's place in the cosmos and the potential for contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. Speculation. If the companions were indeed engineered, their purpose remained a mystery. Were they scouts, sent to observe and report back to their creators? Or were they harbingers of something more ominous, a warning of an impending encounter? Some researchers suggested that their synchronized orbits and power signatures hinted at a coordinated mission, perhaps even a deliberate attempt to reveal themselves to humanity. Others warned of darker possibilities, citing the companions' classification as potentially hazardous objects. The truth, however, remained elusive, shrouded in the silence and secrets of those who held the keys to humanity's future. As the world waited for answers, the companions continued their inexorable journey through the solar system, their signals growing stronger, with each passing day. Their trajectories remained unpredictable, defying all attempts at modeling or explanation. Yet, amid the uncertainty, one thing became clear: humanity was no longer alone in the universe. Whether this realization heralded a new era of discovery or the dawn of a cosmic reckoning remained to be seen. But one thing was certain: the silence could not last forever. Section 4. The Second Visitor. As if the 9 companions weren't enough, the story grew stranger still. From the opposite direction of the sky, another interstellar object, C2025R2, nicknamed S-Swan, was approaching. 100 times larger and brighter than Atlas, with a tail stretching 5 times the width of the full moon, S-Swan was set to reach its closest pass to the Sun within days of Atlas. Astronomers marveled at its size and luminosity, which outshone even the brightest comets ever recorded. Its tail, a shimmering green veil, was visible to the naked eye even before its closest approach, inspiring awe and unease in equal measure. 2 interstellar giants converging on the same corridor of space, escorted by a fleet of hidden companions, all during the same week in October. The odds of such a convergence happening by chance were astronomical, fueling the public's hunger for answers. To many, this timing was no coincidence. Some speculated that S-Swan was arriving as a protector, intercepting Atlas and its escorts before they could unleash whatever mission they carried. Conspiracy theorists cited ancient texts and myths, claiming that celestial guardians had intervened in Earth's history before. Others suggested the opposite, that both objects were part of the same operation, converging near the Sun to exchange energy, data, or even cargo. This theory gained traction as scientists observed strange fluctuations in the solar wind near both objects, hinting at some form of interaction. And then there were the historians pointing out that records of unusual green-tailed visitors stretched back millennia, appearing in cycles of roughly 2,800 years. If those records were real, then humanity had seen this before and survived. But survival this time was no guarantee. The last recorded visitation, according to some interpretations, coincided with the fall of the Roman Empire and the beginning of the Dark Ages. While the public was left to speculate, governments were anything but idle. Leaked memos revealed emergency sessions at the Pentagon, at European Space Command, and within China's National Space Administration. Draft contingency plans outlined everything from reconnaissance probes to outright planetary defense scenarios. China reportedly redirected resources from its Long March 9 rocket program into designing a high-velocity interceptor, codenamed Heaven's Shield. The ESA dusted off designs from its abandoned Don Quixote asteroid deflection mission, considering a rapid deployment of its proposed Hera spacecraft to intercept one of the objects. Even private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin were quietly approached about rapid response launches, with SpaceX allegedly preparing to redirect a Starship prototype for a potential interception mission. And yet, in public, there was only silence. NASA refused to release Webb's raw spectra, citing national security concerns. ESA declined to comment, even as its own scientists privately expressed alarm at the data they were seeing. The White House issued only a single-sentence statement: "We are aware of the situation and monitoring it." That silence fed paranoia, because when 9 objects suddenly appear, each radiating impossible power, And the world's most powerful institutions respond not with transparency but with secrecy. It suggests that the stakes are far higher than anyone dares admit. Rumors spread online about classified briefings given to world leaders, with some sources claiming that the objects were emitting signals that defied all known forms of encryption. Observation. The public's distrust of government silence grew as amateur astronomers shared their own observations online. Social media platforms were flooded with images and videos of S1's green tail, which some described as otherworldly or even alive. Crowds gathered at observatories and public viewing events, demanding answers from scientists who had none to give. In one notable incident, a group of protesters stormed the gates of the Green Bank Observatory in West Virginia, accusing the facility of hiding information about the objects. The observatory was forced to temporarily shut down, further fueling the perception of a cover-up. Interpretation. The government's refusal to address the public's concerns only deepened the divide between official narratives and grassroots speculation. As the days counted down to the object's closest approach, the tension became palpable. Schools reported students skipping class to watch the sky, while workplaces saw productivity drop as employees followed live streams of the object's progress. The world seemed to hold its breath, unsure whether to expect salvation or catastrophe. Meanwhile, the objects continued their inexorable journey, their intentions as unknowable as ever. Speculation. Some theorists proposed that the objects were not physical entities at all, but manifestations of a higher dimensional intelligence. Others suggested they were probes sent by an ancient civilization, programmed to activate only when certain conditions were met. Still others pointed to the object's precise trajectories and argued that they were part of a coordinated effort to study or even alter Earth's environment. Whatever the truth, one thing was clear. Humanity was on the brink of something unprecedented, and the world's government seemed just as uncertain as the rest of us. As the countdown to October continued, the silence from above grew deafening. Section 5. The blink of creation. The companions' origin is as unsettling as their behavior. Harvard's analysis showed that all 9 objects materialized in a single millisecond, 30,000 times faster than a blink of an eye. This isn't natural fragmentation, it's precision deployment. These objects didn't form, they were activated. In astronomy, nothing behaves this way. Comets and asteroids fracture slowly, leaving debris trails over millions of miles or centuries. Yet 9 symmetrical objects, radiating impossible energy, appeared in perfect unison. Their surfaces gleam with a metallic sheen, reflecting light in patterns that defy natural explanation. This isn't astronomy, it's technology. The realization shook the scientific community. If these objects were technological, their creation and deployment required precision and energy beyond human capability. No energy surge or ripple was detected, suggesting a power source so advanced it could manipulate space-time without disturbance. This echoes the theoretical zero-point energy, where energy could be drawn from the vacuum of space itself, though such technology remains speculative for humanity. Speculation about their purpose spread rapidly. Were they probes designed to study our solar system? Their trajectories seemed calculated for maximum coverage, yet moved with an elegance that defied simple explanation. One object orbited dangerously close to Jupiter's great red spot, emerging unscathed. Another skimmed Saturn's rings with breathtaking precision. While some viewed this as caution or curiosity, others saw a darker possibility. With 20 gigawatts of power, nearly twice New York City's peak consumption, these objects radiated weapon-level energy. Were they harvesters designed to mine resources or enforcers meant to neutralize threats? The idea of such power being used destructively was chilling, but not implausible, given human history's blend of exploration and conquest. The silence of the companions deepened the mystery. Unlike human probes, these objects emitted no discernible communications. Their passive behavior fueled both hope and fear. Some argued that their silence was a sign of benevolence, while others warned it could be a prelude to unimaginable consequences. Observation. The companion's energy output has remained constant, suggesting a highly stable and efficient power source far beyond human technology. Their orbits have shown no signs of degradation, implying a propulsion system that defies known physics. Interpretation. Their deployment, precision, and symmetrical formation indicate technological sophistication beyond our comprehension, hinting at an advanced civilization with unprecedented capabilities. The absence of any visible propulsion or energy exhaust suggests a mastery of forces that humanity has yet to discover. Speculation. If the companions are technological, their purpose remains unknown. Their silence invites dread, as intent remains invisible until it acts. As humanity watches, torn between awe and fear, the stakes are immeasurable, not just for science, but for the future of our species. If these objects are not natural, they represent the first undeniable evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, a milestone that could redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. Yet the possibility of indifference or hostility lingers like a shadow, casting doubt over every discovery. Section 6. Echoes of the Past. Historians have noted that strange green-tailed comets have been recorded throughout human history in cycles of roughly 2 millennia. Chinese imperial archives mention a heavenly dragon in 200 BCE, coinciding with the rise of the Han dynasty. Babylonian tablets describe a splitting star in 2205 BCE that aligned with the collapse of the Akkadian Empire. Medieval European chronicles speak of a green banner in the sky around the year 1000, inspiring apocalyptic fears. These accounts suggest that the current event may be a recurring phenomenon, leaving indelible marks on human history. The patterns are clear. Each of these historical accounts aligns with a 2,200-year cycle, hinting at a celestial rhythm that predates written history. Major civilizations such as the Zhou dynasty in China, the reign of Hammurabi in Babylon, and the rise of the Holy Roman Empire coincide with these sightings. The Zhou, for instance, emerged shortly after the 1000 BCE sighting, introducing concepts of the mandate of heaven that would define Chinese governance for millennia. This raises the possibility that every 2,200 years these objects reappear, leaving behind cryptic stories that our ancestors preserved. If so, our age is not the first to confront this mystery. We are simply the first to observe it with modern instruments, and the first to do so without the guidance of ancient wisdom. Archaeoastronomers are uncovering further clues. The Nazca lines in Peru may depict the path of these comets, with their long, straight lines mimicking the trajectory of celestial bodies. Stone circles like Stonehenge and alignments of Egyptian temples suggest a global effort to track these celestial visitors. The temple of Amun-Ra at Karnak is oriented to align with specific celestial events, hinting at a deeper understanding of astronomy than previously thought. Despite their significance in ancient cultures, the comets vanished from records after the 11th century. Now, as they return, we must confront not just the objects, but the echoes of our own past. Behind closed doors, governments and space agencies are mobilizing. Defense satellites are being recalibrated to monitor the approaching objects, while reconnaissance probes are repurposed for data collection. China has accelerated its planetary defense program, deploying its Long March 5 rockets to test interceptor technologies. Europe is resurrecting kinetic interceptor designs from its abandoned asteroid deflection mission, and the US has convened emergency panels at NASA and the Pentagon, with experts warning that current defenses are inadequate. Analysts are working tirelessly to understand these objects, but time is running out. With Atlas and its companions approaching perihelion within weeks, there is no time to build new defenses. If these objects are hostile, we are unprepared. If they are not, their silence and the secrecy surrounding them raise deeper questions. Acknowledging their existence would challenge our sense of control and force us to confront our insignificance in the cosmic order. The last time these comets appeared, humanity was on the cusp of the Crusades, unaware of the Americas and still centuries away from the scientific revolution. Now, as we stand on the brink of interstellar ambitions, these ancient visitors remind us of how little we truly know. Observation. Historical records suggest a pattern of societal upheaval coinciding with the comet's appearances. This correlation raises questions about causality. Did the comets trigger events on Earth, or were they mere harbingers of change? The Akkadian Empire, for instance, collapsed shortly after the 2205 BCE sighting. But was this due to the comet or the broader climate shifts of the time? Speculation. If the comets are part of a recurring cycle, ancient civilizations may have possessed knowledge or technologies related to them that have been lost. The rapid mobilization of modern defense systems suggests a desperate attempt to compensate for this lost knowledge. Some theories propose that the sudden disappearance of the Mayan civilization around 900 CE could be linked to a failed attempt to understand or prepare for the comet's return. Interpretation. The secrecy surrounding the comet's return may reflect a deeper fear, not of the objects themselves, but of the existential crisis they represent. If humanity is not the first to encounter them, what does this say about our place in the universe? Are we unique, or merely the latest in a long line of civilizations that have faced these celestial wanderers? The silence of the comets, coupled with their cyclical nature, hints at a cosmic indifference that challenges our self-perceived importance. Section 7. The Unseen Influence. In the wake of the 9 escorts' arrival, strange phenomena began to sweep through the solar system. Magnetometers detected faint, synchronized pulses aligned with the orbits of Atlas and its companions recurring every 43 seconds. These pulses disrupted Earth's magnetosphere, triggering geomagnetic storms that caused widespread blackouts affecting over 1.2 billion people in cities like Tokyo, Rio de Janeiro, and Moscow. Localized auroras, normally confined to polar regions, illuminated skies as far south as the equator, painting the night with ethereal curtains of green and purple light. Seismographs worldwide recorded ultra-low vibrations with no tectonic origin, their precise patterns resembling the resonant frequencies of a finely tuned instrument. These vibrations, barely perceptible to humans, were strong enough to shake the foundations of skyscrapers in megacities, causing structural cracks and prompting evacuations. Migratory animals, whales, birds, and even underground insects altered their navigation routes as if their internal compasses had malfunctioned. Mass strandings of whales occurred along the coasts of New Zealand and Chile, while birds deviated from millennia-old migratory paths. Insects surfaced en masse, driven from their tunnels by an unknown force. These shifts coincided perfectly with the convoy's movements, leading researchers to speculate that Earth's magnetic structure was resonating with something hidden inside the objects. Some biologists observed that plants in controlled environments grew faster during the pulses, their leaves orienting toward the sky as if responding to an unseen stimulus. The anomalies weren't confined to Earth. Solar telescopes detected unusual flares erupting from the sun, peaking every 43 seconds in sync with the pulses. These flares, equivalent to the energy of 1,000,000 hydrogen bombs, seemed harmless, their energy absorption altering the trajectories of the escorts. Probes orbiting Mars and Jupiter reported similar magnetic disturbances, implying the convoy's influence spanned the solar system. On Mars, rovers recorded sudden spikes in methane levels, a potential sign of subsurface activity, while Jupiter's great red spot swirled faster, its edges glowing faintly in infrared wavelengths. The alignment was uncanny, either an impossible coincidence or evidence that the 9 escorts were deliberately tuning the solar system. Astrophysicists calculated that the energy required to synchronize such vast celestial bodies was equivalent to harnessing the power of a supermassive black hole. Astonishingly, radio astronomers intercepted a directed energy burst from one of the escorts aimed at the Moon. The signal targeted a Mascon region, gravitational anomalies beneath the lunar crust that have puzzled scientists for decades. Theories suggest these mascons are remnants of ancient impacts or artificial structures. The signal, complex and encoded, struck the region, triggering a faint infrared glow and seismic tremors. The Moon seemed to resonate in harmony with the Earth, both bodies responding to the same unseen force. Observations revealed that the tremors formed geometric patterns on the lunar surface, as if the Moon's crust was flexing in response to the signal. Lunar observatories detected the glow and tremors, raising startling questions. Was the Moon a node in an ancient system, awakened by the escorts? Did it hide something planted long before humanity's emergence? If the escorts were probes, perhaps the Moon was never ours, but a construct beacon or repository of knowledge left by an older civilization. As the escorts continued their journey, their influence deepened, hinting at a purpose beyond exploration and challenging humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos. Some astronomers noted that the escorts' trajectories formed a precise spiral pattern when mapped, mirroring the golden ratio found in nature, art, and ancient architecture. This mathematical harmony suggested that the escorts were operating according to a design far older than humanity, one that resonated with the fundamental laws of the universe. Section 8. The Moon's Secret. The silence from global institutions deepened despite mounting evidence. NASA refused to release Webb's raw spectra, citing national security concerns, while ESA deflected inquiries with vague statements about ongoing analysis. Meanwhile, China prepared emergency launches at the Wenchang spacecraft launch site, where satellite imagery revealed the hurried assembly of 3 Long March 5 rockets, each capable of lifting 25 tons to low Earth orbit. The White House offered only a terse acknowledgement. We are aware and monitoring the situation. Amateur astronomers became the public's sole source of information, sharing images and theories online under hashtags like #3i-truth and #sky-cover-up. The silence itself became a message, fueling fears that what these agencies knew was too alarming to disclose. The public's demand for answers surged. Independent researchers filled the void left by official silence. The Lunar Watchers, a collective of over 500 volunteers, tracked the movements of 3i Atlas and its escorts, revealing precise, unnatural maneuvers. Their data showed the objects adjusting trajectories with a precision of within 0.01 degrees, far exceeding the capabilities of human spacecraft. Another team, led by a former NASA engineer, captured images of exhaust trails from the escorts, suggesting intelligent control. The trails glowed faintly in infrared, hinting at an unknown propulsion system. Mainstream media remained quiet, except for a few cautious pieces, including a viral New York Times op-ed, questioning the ethics of withholding information. The op-ed, penned by a former astronaut, asked, "Are we protecting the public or denying them the right to know?" Orbital mechanics uncovered a startling detail. 3i Atlas, its escorts, and the oncoming S-Swan were set to align in mid-October within a narrow solar corridor. This alignment, impossible for random bodies, suggested a deliberate rendezvous. The timing coincided with a blackout window caused by solar interference, ensuring the most critical moments would remain hidden. To many, this seemed orchestrated to conceal the truth. The solar corridor, spanning just 3 degrees of arc, would align perfectly with Earth's line of sight, creating a brief but total blind spot for ground-based telescopes. Observation. Public frustration erupted into global protests. Demonstrators gathered outside NASA, ESA, and United Nations facilities demanding transparency. In Washington, D.C., protesters unfurled a banner reading, "The sky belongs to us all," while Paris demonstrators chanted, "La vérité est là-haut," "The truth is out there." These protests underscored the growing mistrust between citizens and institutions. In Hong Kong, activists projected holographic images of 3i Atlas onto skyscrapers, a defiant act of visibility in the face of censorship. Interpretation. The alignment confirmed suspicions that these objects were part of a coordinated event. Their precise movements suggested planning beyond human capability, raising questions about their origin and intent. Were they here to observe, communicate, or execute an unknown agenda? The lack of answers deepened unease. Some analysts pointed to historical precedents, such as the 1967 Falcon Lake incident, where unidentified objects demonstrated technological superiority. Others compared it to the 2004 Tic Tac UFO sightings, where objects performed maneuvers impossible for human aircraft. Speculation. Theorists proposed the alignment was a prelude to a revelation or a demonstration of power. Others saw it as a form of communication. Regardless, the world stood on the brink of something monumental, with the silence from above amplifying the tension below. The sheer scale of the objects, 3i Atlas, now estimated to be over 5 kilometers in diameter, added to the sense of awe and dread. As the alignment approached, social media platforms reported a 300% increase in mentions of 3i Atlas, with users sharing everything from prayers to memes, a testament to humanity's ability to find humor even in the face of the unknown. Section 9. The Unfolding Mission. For centuries, humanity has gazed at the night sky, weaving myths from the stars. But now, the James Webb Space Telescope, the Very Large Telescope, and even amateur astronomers have unveiled a new reality. 3i Atlas is no longer alone. It is accompanied by 9 smaller objects, each radiating immense power and moving with precise coordination. These city block-sized entities defy conventional orbital mechanics, emitting energy pulses exceeding 100 gigawatts, enough to power nations. In an instant, our solar system went from hosting 1 interstellar object to 10. This revelation rewrites our understanding of the cosmos. Their arrival was undeniable. On October 19, 2023, the Mauna Kea Observatory detected the first companion, a glimmering speck against the stars. Hours later, 9 objects were confirmed worldwide, all moving in tandem with 3i Atlas. Their artificial nature was unmistakable, their movements too deliberate to be natural. The astronomical community was shaken. Overnight, the solar system became a stage for something beyond our grasp. The objects' synchronized movements are deeply unsettling. They adapt their trajectories in real time, outperforming our most advanced satellites. Their pulses, directed at the moon, suggest they are scanning or mapping its subsurface. This raises questions about the moon's long-assumed barrenness. Equally baffling is their interaction with Earth's magnetic field, as if communicating with the planet itself. Observation. Lunar seismic sensors detected the object's pulses penetrating deep into the regolith. Dormant Apollo-era equipment registered activity during their flyby, hinting at a deeper probe of the moon's interior. Interpretation. If these objects are probes, their behavior implies intelligence and purpose. They are not passive observers, but active participants in a mission involving Earth and the Moon. Their familiarity with the solar system suggests they have been here before, or possess intricate knowledge of its workings. The convergence of S1, 100 times larger and aligned with the smaller companions, deepens the mystery. Its trajectory matches a rare Saros cycle alignment of Earth, the Moon, and the Sun, occurring every 18.6 years. This alignment, traditionally tied to solar eclipses, now feels ominous. The object's arrival during this event cannot be mere coincidence. The silence from governments and space agencies is telling. Despite overwhelming evidence, no official statements have been issued. Leaked documents from NASA and ESA hint at internal debates over disclosure, yet the public remains uninformed. Meanwhile, amateur astronomers and researchers share their findings online, fueling speculation under the viral hashtag #3iAtlas. The lack of transparency only intensifies suspicion. Speculation. Are these objects part of a convoy arriving for rendezvous? Are they guardians, scouts, or harvesters? Is the moon part of a system we never understood? While answers remain elusive, one truth is clear. We are witnessing a new era in human history. For the first time, we are not alone in the solar system. Whether these objects bring opportunity or threat, their presence demands reckoning. We sought answers, but instead found questions that challenge the very foundations of science. Are these objects here to observe, interact, or intervene? Are they the vanguard of a greater entity that has traversed interstellar space? And if so, what is their intent? As the objects continue their approach, all we can do is watch, wait, and wonder. Section 10. The final countdown. The unsettling reality is that these questions may be answered by these visitors on their terms and in their time. A chilling possibility remains. This convoy has always been cycling, unnoticed until now. Ancient texts and archaeological mysteries hint that past civilizations may have witnessed the same spectacle, challenging our understanding of history. What if we were never the watchers, but the watched? Our telescopes may not have uncovered the secret of Three-Eye Atlas, but instead triggered the next phase of its mission. This isn't science fiction, it is happening now. 10 objects,